What's the difference between something that exists beyond time and space and something that doesn't exist at all?
I felt the need to do a video like this. I noticed there were a few misunderstandings with what time and space are, especially with the video you saw at the beginning. I ultimately decided to do this video when my friend Psellos, whom I suggest you follow since he's a great philosopher, posted this comment under one of my videos, arguing that an infinite amount of time is possible if we accept Plotinus's definition of time. Today we will answer all misconceptions about time and space. Thus, let's start. Firstly, we will clarify that time and space are bound together. Both of them are dimensions where movement can occur. There is virtually no difference between the three spatial dimensions and the temporal one from an absolute frame of reference. The difference is only perceived by us because we are three-dimensional beings. If you imagine a square living in two dimensions, the third one would be its temporal dimension. But it's his frame of reference that is moving, not reality itself. In this sense, time is actually already written, and we are living it moment by moment.
But Thomas, does that mean that our destiny is already written and that we have no free will? If I'm already predestined to do something, then I don't actually have a choice.
We will have the time to go deeper in this subject when we will talk about human essence. For now, just know that yes, we have free will, and yes, our destiny is already written. Both of those views are compatible in a fairly simple way, however I won't go into detail right now. Now, if time could be infinite, then it must not be an entity, otherwise it couldn't be infinite, as we saw in previous episodes. However, if time is not an entity, then space isn't as well, since the two are bound together. It seems absurd to affirm that space is not an entity, because then it wouldn't be able to contain other entities. But even if time wasn't an entity, then how would it be able to be affected and distorted by matter itself? Let me clarify. Phenomena such as time dilation are generated by the amount of matter in an object, and they have direct impact on time and its flow. Now, if time really was a non-entity, then this effect shouldn't be possible, as material reality cannot have direct influence on immaterial reality, for immaterial reality is the basis of matter, and altering it will alter matter itself. You may see the universe as a four-dimensional tubular shape, divided in two parts by the present, the potency and the act, future and past. Outside of this tubular shape is the realm of immateriality. We may call this realm Hyper-Uranian, just for conventional purposes. The Hyper-Uranian is where existence and everything we talked about until now resides. Quote unquote, of course, since existence is not in a place or in a time. Speaking of this, let's come to you.
Why do you believe my view is incorrect? It makes perfect sense.
I've explained everything I had to in the first episode. You are just a hard materialist that doesn't believe something can exist if it isn't in a place in a certain time. I guess numbers don't exist then, or laws of physics. I mean, have you ever seen the principles of dynamics in a place? No? Then I guess there is no difference between there being and not being any principle of dynamics.
That nonsense is completely irrelevant, because such things manifest in the physical world, and that is clear evidence of their existence.
Shut the fuck up. You don't even realize the fact that an object is distinct from its manifestation in the physical world. By that standard you should absolutely agree that existence exists. But you seem to either deny existence itself or just ignore the fact that it coincides with the very being you keep denying since a decade ago.
You're just trying to force your delusional fairy tale character into existence by giving it another name and redefining its characteristics. I can imagine a cat sitting right there whose characteristics include existing, but that doesn't mean it actually exists.
There is nothing with those characteristics. Such thing simply doesn't exist. Existence, however, does exist, and we can give it whatever name we want, especially if that name has been used repeatedly by most philosophers in history. Ever heard of synonyms? Or just symbols? Or words? What is a word? A word is a verbal sign made to indicate a concept or entity. Words are made by humans and therefore are entirely manipulable by us humans.
Well then, by that logic, I could call cats unicorns and state unicorns exist.
That has never been the definition of a unicorn in the first place. It is not me who is trying to give a different meaning to a word used by everyone at every time. You people simply forgot about the original meaning of the word, and now assume it refers to something absurd in order to prove that doesn't exist. It's as if in the future the word cat was used to describe some kind of paradoxical shit, and therefore people would go around shouting that cats don't exist. And people living in the 21st century were just monkeys living in a dark age. Now go away, depart from me, learn how to debate properly, and then come back here with actual ideas. I think I've gained enough hate comments by now. I will wait for you next week for the last episode of Metaphysics. Everyone, be well.